Yo, yo, this is Jacob. I got Josh and Luke with me. This is Church Clothes Podcast, episode 2. And today we're going to be talking about some of the recent releases, some of which I reacted to on my channel here. Some I didn't. And then we're also going to be talking through our top 5 Christian hip hop artists currently for each of us, but also sharing our top 5 Christian hip hop albums of all time, and hopefully sparking some debate amongst us. That'd be fun. That's kind of the hope, anyways. And I'm sure there will be. I'm eating a pretzel, pardon me. But yeah, so for the top of the pod here, and we're kind of waiting on Luke to get some better signal where he's at right now. But we're going to talk a little bit about some of the releases very recently. We can talk first about Jackie if you guys want to. My guess is you guys both listened to Jackie Hill Perry. What's the name of the record? I forget. Josh, do you know what it is?
It's called
Luke's,
Blameless.
Blameless. Luke got us. Yeah, Blameless. All right, let's just initial thoughts. I'll go last, I guess. Josh, what is your initial brief thoughts on that project? What do you got?
Yeah, I've listened to it once. A few songs I came back to. It was it was good. I probably need to listen to it a few more times. Other than the songs I have gone back to, but the ones that I have, the song with Aha Gazelle, Shimmy. I've listened to Menorah multiple times. It's no big deal. Menorah reprise with Madison Ryan Ward as well, and then I've listened to Lighthouse a few times again too. Yeah, I I don't think I have the concept of the album down quite yet, but I really love. I think my favorite part off the album is No Big Deal's verse. Kind of that sweet there. Like Jackie did great. That part with Dill was incredible for me. Nice to see KB, actually rapping. Not just doing some worship remixes. Good to see him with some good lyricism there, and on a good beat too. And yeah, I don't mean to just talk about the features. It was a good project, and I'm sure I'll come back to it a little more in detail. But yeah, I was pleased with it. So, how about you guys?
Jacob, you said you'll go last, so I'll go ahead and start talking. If it starts getting choppy, just let me know and I'll repeat that phrase. But are we so good so far?
Yeah.
We are. Yeah, you're doing good. You sounded good. Go ahead, Luke.
Let me set the scene. Jackie Hill Perry. She has not released an album, I think, since 2014.
There was one.
Crescendo.
There was one, I think.
Oh.
18, I think.
Like
2018.
about Joy, right?
Okay, in my mind, I was like, oh, 2014 is 7 years ago. No, 2017 or 2018 is 7 years ago. So I think the point still stands. She did.
Yeah, I got the fact check here real quick. Crescendo was 2018. The Art of Joy was 2014.
Okay.
Okay, great. So Crescendo was the recent one. And I don't know about y'all. I've actually been listening to Jackie for a while. Those are both records, I went through and listened to, and I appreciate it. I think Jackie has a unique role, and she's probably the most lyrical. I don't want to break it between female rappers, but I think she's probably the most lyrical female Christian rapper, period. And
Yes.
with that, not comparing the album to anything outside of her, this album, to come back into the game after all those years and put out something like this, I piece of the week that Friday was. We kind of already talked about, and we'll get there. I'm excited to talk about that, but this is no doubt my number 2 album, and it's nothing against Jackie. It's just that the context of the other one we'll talk about. But throughout this album, there is a pretty strong concept to it, and I'm still working on what that is. Maybe that's something we could return to. But you can even see in the cover art, there's something going on there, and I think I was picking up some of the things in that first song as well. So I'm excited. It's a good album because it's one I want to listen to again and again. I've listened through it maybe 3 or 4 times now, and I've appreciated them all. So let's talk about the highlights. I think Jackie does a great job with the features. Josh, you hit that pretty well. But something that's interesting to me from this album is it is just CHH. Like when I go to the Wednesday night youth group at my church and they're playing different songs. Like this, all the songs just sounded like exactly what I'd be hearing. Maybe not all the songs, but the general gist. And I just think she's really captured that CHH sounds pretty well. I'd be curious to see if you guys agree or disagree with that. But with the features, the Aha Gazelle verse, it's short and sweet and to the point. It might be a feature of the year contender for me. And here's why I say that. Here's why I want to talk about Aha Gazelle is his ability to say things without saying things is second to none in my mind. Let me share 2 bars. And this is just off the top, so there's a chance I'll mess it up. But he says, I'm a blood-covered, shoot. No, he just says, I'm blood-covered in a sea full of sharks. Okay? And obviously just double entendre between, like, you're blood-covered in Christ and then sharks. And but like the idea is when sharks, like you have to put things together to fully get that bar. What happens when sharks sense blood? They like go after it more. So, and I just love that. And just his progression through the verse. And I want to talk about it all, but we're not going to do that. But the last bar of the verse, he says, he's talking about like people looking for blessings. And he says, what you have to do is hold a feather to their nose and make them sneeze. And I had to listen to that 4 times. And then I'm like, wait a second. If you're looking for blessings, sneeze, someone's going to tell you, bless you. Like, again, just his ability to say things without saying things, that just really impressed me. I don't know about y'all. I definitely love Aha a lot. It's going to be a little bit different, but he is going to come into the conversation a little bit later. We'll see how that plays out. But again, Jackie's collabs with No Big Deal. I don't need to say anything more about that. It was probably the lyrical song of the year for me. Menorah. I don't even know what menorah means. If any of y'all do, I'd love to hear it. But there's also the one with KB.
Tabernacle.
It's the lampstand. Okay.
In the tabernacle.
Interesting.
Or the temple.
Interesting.
The Hanukkah candle.
Is it the one that the priest would light, like in Leviticus? Yeah. Okay, that is dope. That is dope. I will be returning that song more too. Yeah, No Big Deal. Amazing. Well, he's definitely going to be coming up later in the discussion of artists. But I want to close this out. Of course, Madison Ryan, like you got to shout out to her. She's been popping up in all the CHH people, and I always love hearing from her. But I want to close out with KB. I've been really listening to that song Lighthouse, and Jackie. I don't know if I can say like there's a clear winner, but it's pretty dang close. Now, I will give Jackie and KB credit. Like, KB has a lot less time in the song, so there's that element that makes Jackie's, like, rapping seem really good to me, at least. But they're pretty close, like, at the end of the day. I don't know if y'all totally disagree or not, but anyway, I'm super impressed with Jackie, and I think she's at this point where she's going to keep getting better. And just the fact that she came after all this time and put out something like this that, in my mind, was really great, that was impressive. And Jacob, I'm going to go ahead and set you up well. The song The Chant, you probably hate it, probably because the simplicity of it. I love the simple song if it's still profound. And each of the phrases that are repeated in it, like they're all if you think about them all, they're like they're pretty good. And like, I don't know, I just appreciate the song. I haven't seen really anyone do anything like that. And just the fact that she can pick like phrases just to repeat over and over again. And I just think it's dope and it's cool. And even your comment section in your own video, like they knew what was up with it. I know you're gonna, I'm setting you up to talk then, Jacob. I think those are all my thoughts unless y'all had any questions.
Yeah. No, that's good. And that's a good setup. We'll say that.
Let me just say something.
Say something.
No one does that because it's just really easy.
Okay. All right. Let's settle now. All right. So I definitely am not afraid to say that of the 3 of us, I probably enjoyed this album the least. And my reaction is on YouTube, as Luke's referring to here. Here's what I think. I have it pulled up here. It is a 40-minute album with 15 songs. A lot of these songs are just short, forgettable, just passable, not memorable at all. And so I think there's some high points. Menorah, I'm not going to say too much more about that. You guys covered it. And that is the high point on this album. It's great. With the reprise, amazing. KB's feature is great too. The back half is solid. A couple other songs on here that just like I think are really like Pride and Prejudice was a favorite. Exegesis, Uncomfortable, The Heart, like that's just a crazy run. But yeah, you guys are mentioning the Aha feature on Shimmy. That's a song that I just think is really, really just not. I'm not gonna return to it ever. I thought it was pretty awful in some ways. Conceptually, I think the album is pretty cohesive. Like I'll give it that. I'm an album guy, and I do appreciate that. Though I don't think it quite reached the potential that it did have. And especially as I was anticipating the album, but also in reflecting on what I heard when I listened to it. I just feel like with a little bit more work and time, perhaps, or maybe just some more assertive voices in the room, whatever the process was like, I think this album could have been just a lot better than it ended up being. A lot of these songs should have just been cut. I mean, they're kind of lackluster single verse songs that aren't really songs, you know. And so for most of this album, more than half of it is just going to be forgettable for me. But there are two or three that I will come back to, that's for sure. And so I don't want to, me being the negative voice of the three of us, I don't want to hammer home too much my disappointment, I guess. You know, a song like The Chant, which I will say this, it is the worst song on the album in my opinion. I hate it. And I can say a little bit more why. But I don't mind anyone enjoying that song. Like, I'm not trying to be a hater. If you like that song, like, this is subjective. I'm not gonna be too bothered by that. And I kind of get what you're saying, Luke. I don't want to disagree with what you said. Though I will say that as far as why I don't appreciate it is that it's just not memorable to me. It's not impressive writing by any means. It's rather lazy. I don't think it sounds good in my ears. There's no ear candy to it. The production doesn't stand out in a particular way. I mean, a song can be repetitive and not provide much lyrically if it's still banging, but to me, it's just kind of this unnecessary, just noisy song that interrupts the track listing that I rather was not there. And I understand, and again, I got a comment on my YouTube video saying this, and I think this is what you've seen, Luke. You know, I'm sure culturally I'm not even sure where Jackie's from. But I'll tell you, The Chant does sound like a Memphis sort of sound, at least that region. Like, I get it if it's a reference to a particular sound that's cultural. Like, I get that, but still, like, that's not me, and I'm the one listening to this album, so of course I'm just not going to like it, if that is the appeal. So that's where I'm at with the album. Do you guys have any other thoughts in response to what I said? Otherwise, we can move on to the next thing.
The Chant is the brick for brick equivalent
Yeah, it is.
on this album. But
I
yeah, maybe
actually agree
it
with
could have been an
that.
EP. You know, cut a lot of the songs that didn't need to be on it. You know, just make it a special thing with Menorah and Lighthouse. But yeah, I think I'm kind of middle ground here, and you know, Jacob hates it, Luke loves it. So I think that's good. Like we got a good thing going here.
I'm 4 minutes from good internet, but it might be.
Yeah, you said a little chop, Luke. I'm gonna take over for you here, okay? If you have anything you want to say,
Okay.
just hold on to it. Let's just, for the sake of time, we'll just
Talk
check
for
a
4
lot.
minutes. Yeah, talk for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll fill in, but
All right. I'm just gonna assume that he can hear what I'm saying. Yeah. Well, you let us. Well, I'll ask you in a couple minutes what you're thinking. Anyways. All right. I think we exhausted Jackie's Blameless. So there's our thoughts on it. So that's pretty much what's going on there. There's two albums that I'm really wanting to talk about, but before we get to those, we can talk about Hollyn and Weatherman. Josh, I know you're all over this. I'll just give my thoughts first because I probably had the least to say. Maybe I don't know how Luke feels about the project. Theology of Beauty Fall, right? Am I getting that right? That's the name of the project, right? I've gone back to maybe 2 or 3 of the songs since my first initial listen, which I did record, or I did stream. And my listening experience the first time was very pleasant. I like it. It's very long, you know. Most of the music we're going to talk about on this podcast, this is not quite like that. And the occasions where which you would listen to this music, it's not the same. But for what it is as a project, I really appreciated it. And I thought it was beautiful, very artistic. You know, I'm a big fan of artists like, you know, Bon Iver or some of the folkier stuff. And this kind of, it's like that. It's like that sort of appeal, this sort of occasion I'd listen to it. But I appreciate specifically how how worshipful it is. I think it's a beautiful record. Plenty of moments on there where just sonically combined with the subject matter like could bring me to tears. And if I wasn't streaming, I'd probably be more likely to cry listening to it. But yeah, for sure. I haven't gone back to it yet, but I imagine I will when the occasion is right. That's kind of all I'm saying is that it's a heavy listen because it's long and it takes its time, and that's not a bad thing at all. But it certainly yeah, makes it a heavier listen. And so, Josh, I don't know how much you've been spinning this record, probably more than I have, but yeah, I
Yeah,
like it, and I know you really
more.
like it. So say more.
Definitely, I've been spinning it more. I think what really grabbed my attention, like I do not listen to Hollyn at all. I just, radio, CCM,
Yeah.
like not my thing. But what really grabbed my attention were two things. Number one is that Rodney Jerkins, signed Hollyn and the Weatherman. And I was like, wow, like, most of the people he's signed, like, he's had a clear vision behind, and like I can see why he's done that. Um, and two, the Weatherman, because we'll talk about this later, I know for a fact, but the Weatherman had a lot to do with The Arrow by Andy Mineo, which is, I'll just say right now, one of the best Christian hip hop projects of all time. And also like, they've done a lot with Words Played, which, those projects are not close to the best, but they're a lot of fun. Really funny. And I do think they have good production. And so I like their sound a lot. And, I kind of could foresee like, yeah, these two seem like they would go really well together. Also, Erase Me off of Reconstruction, which shows up again in this
Yep.
album. I love the song. I love Holland's vocals, and I'd been spinning that um, on repeat a lot already. Before this album dropped, and then was really happy to see it on on the project and hear that like it was a poem that Hollyn wrote, and she turned into a song, which is something I learned she does a lot, and I think it's a really cool writing process. So yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really a song on the album I don't like. I definitely like, put it on shuffle, and me and my roommate listen to music before we go to sleep some. So like, we'll spin this a little bit at
Yeah. See,
night.
like that's the perfect setting for this album. I feel
Yeah,
like. Yeah.
yes. Um, and I'm trying to think, like I have a playlist of like a few albums that have come out this year, and I put it on that, and like it's blended pretty well with that playlist as well. But yeah, just conceptually and content wise, it's just phenomenal. I went through and like read the lyrics of each song, and like, that was an emotional experience for sure. I think in Jesus' name, how she's talking about like, my daughter is the age where like Jesus started grabbing my attention, and now I'm hearing my daughter pray in Jesus' name. Like that kind of thing is just really beautiful, and really great writing. And I think also it's very needed um, in a culture as today as well. And personally, I'll say too, like I think the idea a lot of this a lot is like crucifying the flesh, and and the beauty that does come with us falling and dying to ourselves, and that's a little bit of where I've been in life as well. So it's kind of been a little bit of a soundtrack for me too. And then of course I'm gonna glaze John Keith, like bro just killed that song.
Yeah, he
It's so
did.
good. um and King's Kaleidoscope, I was a little more whelmed by that feature, I will say, but I think it was still pretty good too. And I love the sample on that song of the pastor preaching. So yeah, I could go on. I love the cover art too. I think the cover art is so cool. Very aesthetic, and I'm very happy to be introduced to Hollyn in this way. I did a little like, deep dive, and like found out more about her writing process, as I've said, and like got some more background on the album and a little more and too. And like, yeah, it's just really cool to see all that. And this is an album I'll probably go back to a lot. Or nighttime drives, or going to bed and listening to music a little bit. This is one that'll be in the rotation pretty easily. So I really love it. I'd put it like, top 5 of the year um so far. So
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Luke, are you in a good spot yet or no? I can move forward by some more time if needed. He might not be there.
So I am
Oh,
here,
he's there.
and I'm at home, so I have Wi-Fi. If I start
Yeah.
cutting out, let me know.
No, you sound good.
But okay, I'm excited to talk about it. I was trying to think of just that sample from the preacher about I don't see
Wind.
God, but I see the effects of the winds. That's in another song in CHH, but it's leaving my mind right now. Maybe that'll be a
Oh,
trivia for next week.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's common because I mean that's exactly what Jesus says in John 3, which is where they're getting it from for sure. So I mean
Oh yeah.
that could have been that's probably several places in Christian hip hop.
Yeah. So I'll get back to y'all on that. Maybe that'll be next week's trivia. Let me just write that down. It might have even been Andy Mineo. Anyway, I'll share about that album and like guys, I could have a whole like podcast long episode about this. And I just have a very strong, like intimate relationship with this album. It is totally amazing. And like I can't even say all this stuff like on this public forum in the ways that it's been amazing, but I'll say this. I firmly believe there is not a single note, not a single lyric written without the influence of the Holy Spirit. Like there is no doubt in my mind. And even all the orderings of the songs, like I am just so in love with I think she found her sound. And
yeah.
yeah, John Keith, I hit like I thought his singing was okay. I still in some of the earlier singing stuff, and we'll talk about in the summertime later, but like I loved his deeper baritone sounding voice. When he does those lower notes, I think he was on to something more than when he's doing more of his like crazy falsetto stuff. So, not that that's bad, but I think they and the fact that he didn't really do a full verse, Hollyn just like kind of strategically put him in where it worked really well. I just loved everything about it. And yeah, I don't even have too many thoughts for this album because it was just so good. If someone's listening who hasn't played it, like play it and just like bask in the presence of the Holy Spirit. Like it's totally amazing.
Yeah. I'll talk to that. I was reading a little bit, and Holland put on her Instagram like a screenshot of a voice note from or a memo or note from like 2018, 2019, and said like, Lord, like please let me find a producer that like, just fits my sound and like will allow me to be honest on my music. And like I think, she was saying that like, yeah, it does feel like it's been guided by the Holy Spirit for her, and like this is in God's hands. And based on some of the reactions I've seen online too, like I know people have been really blessed by it. I'm forgetting the other thing I was gonna say. Oh, I know. I'm curious what you guys think. It's just more funny. I had a friend tell me that she thinks it sounds like swag, which
No, I can see
I
that.
can see
I was
that.
like,
I
it's
can see
swag,
that.
but like
Obviously, subject matter is very
not.
different, and the tone's very
Yeah,
different, but the instrumentation and production is very similar, and that's a sound that's going around right now for sure. They're all over that. John Keith was all over that on Grow Wings for sure too.
yeah,
Speaking of
for
other
sure.
influences, I actually caught some SZA and Sabrina Carpenter in there as well, and that's not like a fault to Holland, because like her earlier stuff sounds like Taylor Swift to me a little bit, and maybe that's just me, I don't know, generalizing things, but that's just my thoughts on it. But Josh, if you could drop it in the chat. Oh, am I super loud now?
You're good. You're good.
Anyway, Josh, could you drop any like interesting um videos like things you found on the history of the album? Oh, are you still there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm still here.
In the chat, and we
Yeah,
could
I
like
can do
link
that.
those. We could Jacob can link those in the description. But I just really want to learn as much as I can about this album because this is like a landmark milestone album for me in my life. Like I already know I'm gonna be coming back to this album like 20 years from now. I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember that season of my life. Like that was what it was for me. So anyway,
Yeah, I
that's
would get this on a vinyl. Like
yeah. I had that thought too.
it's a special album for sure.
Um, if we're ready to move on, I just wanted to share a thing on the Jackie Hill Perry album, but it won't be long. But are y'all both good on this album?
Yeah, sure. No, go for it.
Okay. First off, like I just love that we all have different perspectives and voices. Like that's the whole reason there is this podcast. If it was just like if we all had the same exact fleshed out opinion, first off that'd be boring. Second off, we'd only need one of us to talk. And it's like I feel like most times when we talk, with a few exceptions, well, I'm able to at least understand where y'all are coming from. And Jacob, like as you're describing, I appreciate how you're able to see where we are coming from as well. Even though you like don't agree, and that like that's good. Like have the different opinions because y'all have stuff that I don't agree with, but I can see where you're coming from. Like I can see where you're coming from where chant is like the brick for brick. You know, I can agree with you on that. So that's just in general, like that's the beauty of discussing. Second off, with the short songs, I happened to watch your reaction to "Cry" by Holvey, and that was actually a
Yeah.
similar critique where you're like, "I'm starting to fall in love with the song, and then it's over." So I was just curious, like, I don't know, I just made that connection in my mind. I guess I don't know where I was going with it.
Well, can I
but do you have
make a
anything
comment
else?
about that?
Yeah,
I'll share like one thing though. I will say like very definitively, and this is true in my reactions comparing to both Cry and Blameless. Similar length of songs, although some of the Cry songs are actually a little bit longer, believe it or not.
right.
But the things that I think really separate them and dictate my reaction to those facts on how many tracks from the album, how long's the album, is that Cry is mostly Christian pop or Christian pop rap, you know, melodic hooks, a lot of melodic verses, that sort of thing. That's Holvey's thing, right? Whereas what
Yes.
Jackie's trying to do is conscious hip hop, and I don't think there's any room for like consistent short songs in conscious hip hop. You know, that's a bit of where my frustration came for her is that I think the album could have been better at being what it's trying to be if there was just more put into it. Yeah, so I get what you're saying though. Yeah, I'm with you like that. Yeah. Did you want to say anything else?
That's just interesting you put her with conscious hip hop. She's definitely leaning that way towards maybe more than the average artist, but I don't know. I wouldn't have put her there. But anyway, let's keep the discussion moving.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, the two albums I want to talk about yet are Connor Price and Jx.Zero. Now, I just want to ask, Luke, you just said you have not listened to Connor Price yet. Josh, have you heard the Connor Price album?
No.
Then you know what? Forget that one. Because everything I have to say about it, I already have on this channel, so I'll just leave it there. Jx.Zero, you guys both listened to that one? After God's Own Heart, that's the name of the album, right?
Yep.
Yeah, all right, I'll say definitively. I'll get the first word on this, I guess, more or less.
Please do.
Yeah,
please.
I love the. Okay, all right. Let me just backtrack here. So, this man had a song go pretty viral when he first like started making Christian music. He had made other rap music before then, but he had this the song that kind of went viral on TikTok, Instagram, and them. And I just like the sound of the song. So like it's a song I've just been spinning for a while. And then when he came out with an album last year, which I think was his first clean album as a Christian hip hop artist now. But still kind of keeping with his sound that he has, which I like. It's so experiment. It's this other side of hip hop that we really don't have any CHH artists tapping into yet. So I really appreciate his kind of his voice in this. But his album last year I thought was really solid. There's like 3 or 4 songs that I go back to, often. They're on the playlist sort of thing. But I will say this album After God's Own Heart is way more conceptual, and consequently I also think it's just better quality. Like as an album, which I was not expecting this from him. This is maybe top 5 hip hop of the year for me. I really love this album, and so like a couple of, I mean, man, there's a couple of moments here, and this is something that he tends to do. He has some underproduced songs, some unmixed songs, but that's not even deterring me too much from really enjoying them, and just the whole concept of the album, which really wraps up in the 8-minute outro. I remember on my reaction, you can see this, like me sitting there for 8 minutes didn't feel that long. I wasn't, every word he was saying was like just so heavy, and the music that's backing him in that, it's so beautiful, and it's unlike anything in Christian hip hop right now. I'd say definitely a high point on this album is track 4, Black Man's Plight. I did not know he had that kind of rapping capability in him because I've not heard it up till now. But that's conscious hip hop for sure. That's a freaking amazing song. So I don't know if you guys I might have the most to say about this album because I know I'm very, unusually into this. I don't know why it just caught me off guard being so amazing.
I I agree with you on the best song of the album, but for a different reason. Josh,
Yeah.
why don't you go ahead and share your thoughts?
I did not listen to much of the album. I was bored and was not enjoying it, and it was late, and I went to bed.
Dude, that's what I did to the freaking Clips album.
Oh my.
No. Yes.
So maybe
Yeah, I
I'll
never
return
finished
to it
it.
sometime and
Right.
No,
why, but I just was not impressed by anything. And I listened to Black Man's Play, and I was like, all right, like he's got some bars, but like it just something just felt off. Like
Yeah, I'll tell you,
beat was
like his style is not like it's not an it's not a it's a tough bite to chew. Like it's not an easy like it's not like much of what we hear. It's a little weird. Like he has this offbeat flow all the time. Um and some of the beats you can say do sound the same a lot, and it's a pretty long album too. Like I don't mind anything you're saying at all. Yeah, but I think for me it's one of those kind of like what you were saying earlier, Luke, about how certain albums kind of just hit us at certain times. And like for me, like the concept of this album is just really hitting me where I'm at. And so it's particularly um I'm particularly appreciating it. But I get what you're saying for sure. Did you have more to say?
no.
Josh or me? Josh. Okay, you did. Jacob, I totally missed the concept of the album, and I actually do plan on watching your reaction or review. But could you just give us a elevator pitch of it now?
Yeah, I mean, not every song contributes to the kind of fuller message, but definitely the namesake of the album and the kind of the themes at the start of the album, and certainly wrapping up in the outro, the spoken word outro, um, is really his journey of realizing what it means to be in Christ. Um, it's interesting. Like it's a lot of these things that new Christians wrestle with. It's the faith and works thing that people need to always sort
Yeah.
out, which is all up in there. But also this and it is really the whole album, which ends with the outro, is this profound statement about what it meant for David to be a man after God's own heart. Um, and I can't just like recite everything that the outro. I mean, it's 8 minutes long, but I thought it was just wickedly profound and poetic. That last track, like Josh, I'd say if you didn't finish the album, if you were listening in order, like I'd at least listen to the last track, even though it's long. I mean, it is really something.
Spoken word has me interested for sure.
Yeah, and it's like the music changes throughout the 8 minutes depending on what he's saying, and it's just like so beautifully produced. And um, yeah, so I would say that the concept is less of like a specific theme or message as much as it is this time capsule of a guy who's newer to the faith, and he has now reached that milestone where um, like he's really getting it. Like we get to watch that and listen to it. Like that's just a really interesting thing, and that's not very common in Christian hip hop, that you get to like see that part of the process of someone
True.
who's gone from like really profane rapping to like becoming a Christian, and now we're making clean music, but we're also making music that's just all about being
I
a
know
Christian
one.
and Jesus. Who are you
I
thinking
know
of?
one. Kanye West. You might not have
Yeah,
heard of it.
I knew your very own
Nice.
Discord logo.
Yeah, it's true. That's mine. Yeah. No, I'm serious though. Do we know other people who have had like a similar story in music?
Not off the
Like
top of the head, no.
like I know Holvey had his thing where he like deleted his whole library of music when he reached like a certain point. But I don't think it was like I think his thing was not that his music wasn't biblical, but that like he just had a bad intentions.
It wasn't
and a
true
bad
to
heart.
him.
Right.
Yeah.
So like that, I wouldn't say that's like the same thing. And like I know someone like 1K Few has been rapping since before he was a Christian, but like, you know, we didn't really like watch him become a Christian in the way that I guess we're seeing with Zero.
No, I
I don't
hear
know.
you.
Yeah, it's
I
just a
mean,
rare thing, and I
I'm
love it.
actually the only one I can think of, and I think I know or Jacob's thoughts on this guy, but Forrest Frank was Surfaces. Like it was wholesome music, but it wasn't like Christian.
Right.
I feel like that would be a somewhat parallel because he was totally in the spotlight of the world, as it seems like you're talking about with this JX guy, and it's a pretty profound switch in how he's approaching music. So, but that's not necessarily Christian hip hop. I would not call him Christian hip hop.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I think that relates a little bit for sure. Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean it is kind of a unique situation, and so I mean my always the fear for me is like Kanye. I thought Kanye was doing pretty good for a while, but you just
Yeah,
never know. You never know what's rocky soil. But I'm optimistic. I have no reason not to be, and I enjoyed the
totally.
album, and we can leave it at that if there's nothing else to say. You know.
Oh, no, I got a few things to say, my
Oh,
man.
all
I'm
right. No, oh,
sorry.
I forgot. You haven't had your mic time yet. All right,
Here's
go for it.
here's my theory of what happened. What I think happened is on your Spotify, the Jackie Hill Perry album and the JX album swapped because we have pretty much have inverted views of both albums.
Uh-oh.
So,
Uh-oh.
yes, the Jacob, your story, I really want to watch your reaction because I'm just curious to see like what you're seeing in this
Yeah,
album.
do it. I'm gonna
And I
rewatch
just
it
want to
too.
learn what I'm missing, perhaps. But Show Baraka has this one bar. He says, "If I just wanted to listen to Drake, I would listen to Drake." But I wouldn't even give this guy that. He sounds like he's like I would give that bar to Aaron Cole, the CHH Drake, whose EP I actually did like
Bro,
recently.
bro. Wait, oh, hold on. You can't just bring Aaron Cole's name up and all right. I'm not letting that one slide. Hold on one second. Let me
Okay.
you just keep talking. You just keep talking, but I will say that Aaron Cole is amazing.
He is. But if I
Amazing.
wanted to listen to Drake, I would just listen
He's
to Drake.
not Drake. He has Kirk Franklin on the anyways, all right, just we can't do this.
Okay.
All right, just keep going. Just keep going.
All right. So now for JX, I have to say if I wanted to listen to Aaron Cole, I would just listen to Aaron Cole. Like I don't even give him. I'm sorry, Jacob. Yeah.
You think he sounds like Aaron Cole or Drake?
No, I love Aaron Cole. Aaron Cole's great.
No, I mean
Drake,
Zero. Do you think Zero sounds like someone else? I don't.
I thought he sounded like Aaron Cole a lot.
You thought he sounded like Aaron Cole? Oh, I would not have figured that.
Maybe. Anyway, maybe that's not important. The bigger message is it. It seemed like it sounded really original and unique to you. There was nothing in this album that sounded like unique to me. Like it all sounded like anything I've heard. Like I'm sorry, it was such a pain to listen through track by track. The one good song was The Black Man's Plate, and then I had this revelation today. He has a feature on that song. Jacob, I will bet you. Here's the why. I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say this. There's a reason that song is so much better lyrically for him. It's because that other feature artist ghost wrote his verse. I will bet you $20 that is the case. There is no doubt in my mind. There's no way that because his verse was good. That was the only good thing he did on that whole album for me, and I just appreciated that. And yeah, like I'm sorry, it was just a pain. And like every single flow, I'm just like, yeah, this is not it. Now his story is cool. I'm glad I learned that part, and I'm gonna watch your reaction because I don't. Again, as you were alluding to earlier, I don't just want to be the negative Nancy, but like I'm not gonna. I'm gonna say what I thought and say what I heard, and I was like, dang, Jacob, what are you seeing in this? Especially in the context of you not appreciating the Jackie Hill Perry album as much, and you did appreciate this one. It just puzzled me, and I'm not at the place yet where I can understand your different point of view, but I want to get there. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, the rage bait works. When we start doing lists of top artists, I'm gonna go a little crazy now. No, I'm kidding. No, but I will say, I mean, I get you. Like both you guys, like, I don't think that this is like I'm unbothered by people not liking this project. For example, like this is a lot of the songs sound the same. He has this kind of lazy flow, which I mean I like it, but it is like it's not easily digestible, I suppose. Lyrics are not super profound, but they're very focused. That's the thing that I really appreciate. So it's this style of music that, to be honest, a lot of kids younger than us are like really into right now. But it's very Jesus focused, not deterring one way or another. Every lyric kind of makes sense to me. I think it would appeal and kind of serves a similar function as Caleb Gordon's music would. But I'd say this album is like an album, and Caleb Gordon's never made like an album before. He's just failed to do that. It's just not very conceptual. And it is long, like I get that. But this is the occasion when which I would listen to Blameless is different than the occasion I'd listen to this album. And what both of them are attempting to do, the purpose that they have, I think that Zero is achieving that purpose way better than Jackie is. I think she's fallen short. That's kind of where I see that. But I'm not really interested in saying, which is a better album. but I will say definitively that this album is better at being what it can be at its best than Jackie's album.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Maybe that's a weird abstract thought. I don't know, but I'd say that at the very least. And I don't know
Well,
if you guys agree with that, but
I would agree with you, and the way I put it is just like Jackie has not reached her full potential. I think there's
I hope
a lot
not,
more she
yeah.
can offer. That's how I would phrase it. I'm with you there. I think that's fair.
yeah. But yeah, no,
'Cause
I'm
that's
gonna
like a
watch
diss
back my
to
reaction
JX.
too.
Sorry, what?
I'm gonna watch back my reaction to this too, because I usually watch mine
Okay.
like a week out. I'll like rewatch it as
That's
I'm like
good.
enjoying the music. Not because I'm a narcissist or anything, but no, I'll definitely do that for this one too.
No, you're valid. It's like the best way to like learn how to present or like do stuff better is to watch yourself. Like I could watch myself and why am I doing all this weird hand stuff, you know? But anyway, so what is next on our weekly sort of bi-weekly roundup that we want to talk about?
Well, you noted that you wanted to talk a little bit of Reconstruction trivia that you hinted at last time, and also I'd be curious to hear what you thought of Summertime in the Village, and before this episode ends.
Yes.
I think that's kind of all
And
there
then
is
we'll-
left before we do lists,
I think
which
that's
will,
good.
yeah.
And then we'll just get on the same page and we'll do it on air of like what the specific prompts are. If we want to even give a few, we'll talk about that when we come to it. But
Alright.
then that'll be like the last thing lead into next. So let me just give out two more throwaways. Not throwaways, and they're bad, except one is just stray shots. There's the Derek Minor album. Did y'all even listen to either of those?
Nope.
Yeah.
Listen,
I'm
I haven't
sorry.
listened to Show yet. I might listen to Show. I want to hear what y'all think of that. I haven't heard it though.
Great. Okay, well, we could do a
I've
more
heard that
official discussion because I want to come back to Show's album actually. So we'll put a pin on that. I appreciated it. I thought it was very similar to his Narrative album, but I'm okay with that. And for Derek Minor, yeah, I'm sorry. I want to like him. Like his little three, like the ones with the three similar album covers. Those are all
Yep.
great albums. I love them.
Yep.
And then into the whatever one has the Hallelujah with like the smiley face art. That stuff's great. But yeah, I hate to say it. That was just like, it might have been worse. I think I might have liked JX better than Derek Minor. I'll maybe give him that. But like,
Nice.
yeah, but I don't even want to talk about it. Show Baraka, yeah. If y'all listen to it, that'll be fun to talk about next week. So let's talk about Summertime in the Village. And you all had framed it as John Keith's kind of turning point where he's expanding, finding a sound, et cetera, et cetera. And I couldn't agree more. It's just a good vibe album to play through. I actually, in my mind, even though it's a little bit of a different sound, it's like it's like the Reach Records summer playlist where you kind of just throw it on and it's like fun. It's not like the greatest, most complex or whatever, but it's just like really fun. And I love that for John Keith. And yeah, you can kind of see the notes of what he's trying to find. And to think of him like from that all the way to him this Hollyn song, like that is an amazing growth period for him. And I'm excited to see where he can go. And I think my favorite song is actually, I think it was called Crazy. It's kind of, I don't know. I was curious if y'all had a favorite song off of that album. Because I think Crazy might not have been y'all's. So
I think Josh and I might have the same favorite on that.
Yeah, go ahead and say it.
Everybody else?
Oh,
Banger!
That's like
That
his
one-
best song.
Yeah, that's like a
Coming
top
back to
5
that
John
one-
Keith song.
Okay, I can see it. Coming back to
Yeah.
that one, it got better because I think I just heard it so many times in the Spotify algorithm and I was a little sick at the time. But yeah, it's good. It's fine. His little interlude of like when I call answer or whatever, it's just a John Keith interlude. Like, anyway. So if it's okay, I should have brought my laptop. I'll stop being your problem child for next episode, but I'm going to pause my video just so I can get my notes. Is that okay?
Yeah, no, go for it. You'll be fine. It doesn't
Okay.
interrupt anything or anything like that.
You guys see a little robot or whatever I am.
Should I stop the recording for this episode now, Luke, or not yet?
Well, I think the Reconstruction trivia will be maybe
trivia,
like
right. Forgot that.
10-ish minutes. Is that all right?
No, yeah, let's do it. Let's
Or do you
finish
wanna
that
do it
out,
next?
and then we'll inform the listener and Josh. We're gonna do the third episode will be the lists. So we'll record that tonight, but we'll make that a third episode for our top albums of all time and artists right now lists.
Oh, I have something else I could talk about for like 2 to 5 minutes.
Do it right now, then.
Actually,
Yeah.
do that because I'm gonna go ahead and grab my laptop then anyway. So go
Yeah.
ahead and do that.
I don't know if y'all heard, John Keith dropped, I guess like an acoustic version or like
Yeah.
a live version of his song Chasing. And I was tearing up at that. It was, oh my goodness, it was just so
Wow.
beautiful. And the instrumentals were great. Like, yeah, Luke, like if you're still on like his auto tune, like there's no auto tune. It's literally just him sitting in a hotel room with Charlie Powers, and Charlie's playing the guitar and John's singing, and he like switches up the melody a little bit, and like it's just so beautiful. Like I need that on my local files like ASAP. If I remake like Grow Wings, we like to remake some albums and order them, and sometimes like, I'd put that on it for sure. Like I hope he puts that on the deluxe that he's working on as well, for Grow Wings. So I just was really taken back by that. It was just so gorgeous. And so if you haven't watched that, I would recommend going on John's YouTube right now and just treating yourself, so good.
I'm excited.
Some great singing. And also, on that note, his Holy Smoke sessions, he does Won't Fly. And again, same thing. There's none of the auto tune. Like he's just singing, and it's literally just him, the beat, the mic. Like it's the same degree. It's just really gorgeous. And I've gone back to both of those. And it's a little bit like the Eyes on Us acoustic version as well. I'll put it in that, but those three are really great together, and I love the acoustic John for sure.
Are those all on YouTube?
Yeah.
All right, I'm excited. Yeah, those sound awesome. I think for John Keith, he just like my initial thoughts. He just needs like a vocal coach or something, but I really think he has it in him.
Yeah, he has a great voice.
Well, I think
So I'm
he's
excited
begun
see
to
this.
give more attention to that. I think more recently, and I think even like Grow Wings was a big step vocally for him.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No, I play that album all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the Rodney thing I think has been part of that. I would assume.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Rodney Jerkins is on a generational run right
Yeah,
now.
dude. I'm glad he's getting involved in
He's
what we
doing
do.
some great stuff for the Christian music industry as a whole.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
King's Kaleidoscope guy, or I have no clue like who even that is.
He used to produce for Michael Jackson. He's been in the industry for a
Really?
really long time. Yeah. He's worked with a lot of
He's
big name
produced
artists.
a lot of big names. Yeah.
Okay.
And so he was the executive
Darkchild.
producer for Grow Wings, and now he's doing other stuff in CHH. He really
No
likes John,
shot.
apparently. Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
he's the one who
but-
signed Weatherman and Hollyn.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think as of right now he just signed to Clesso. Yeah, he has Miles Minnick, whatever.
I did not know
sorry,
that.
what's his name one more time?
Rodney Jerkins or Darkchild is his producer name. Let me pull up
Oh,
info on Aliens Alive is what the label's called. And I can
Dude.
confirm all he signs.
that is dope. How'd y'all even like learn this guy?
I mean John Keith posted about it, and I was just
Okay.
it was great. So it looks like I'm trying to see who all they have.
Yeah.
Okay, they have Gavi, Hollyn, Aclesso, Miles, John Keith, TJ Carroll, IMRSQD. And then I guess they have the Weatherman. I don't know if Weatherman is
So I looked this up. Weatherman for King's Kaleidoscope, Weatherman consists of like the bass player. It's in
Yes.
Holland's like Spotify description. It's like some people there's some overlap.
yeah. I don't know if Rodney is signed Weatherman like distinctly, or that was just part of like the album release, but just the fact that he could recognize that talent as like the four of them, Hollyn and Weatherman were making music and dropping stuff, and then Rodney like picked it up, I think is just Like he's got an eye for the stuff, and he's the reason why No Big Deal and Holvey and all of them played at Rolling Loud in the first place. Like that was his set. So he's really,
Dude, I didn't know
kind
that.
of, yeah, he's putting Christian hip hop on the pedestal it really deserves right now.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this mainstream stream stuff really is just either not good or terrible message. And it's been cool to see that with Kato on the track as well. Like I don't know if he's come out and made a statement of faith, but
Oh, he has.
he has. Yeah,
Absolutely,
I
definitely.
feel like I just want to make music that's positive. Like there's just so many negative messages right now. And then so you got him. Oh, I feel like there's another example I was gonna bring up. Shoot. But yeah, Connor Price is what I was gonna say too. Like, he's making a little more distinctly Christian music. I haven't listened to the new album. Maybe
Yeah.
he does a little more there, but
Yeah, he does. I
I
mean,
will
it's
listen.
yeah, between him then and Forrest Frank too, like Christian music is actually like finally getting good again. Like the CCM mainstream, like contemporary crap, like we're finally moving away from that and we're getting like actually good music. And like I wouldn't be embarrassed to create a playlist of distinctly Christian music and like play it in the car for secular friends. um so I'm excited about the Christian music scene overall right now, but specifically hip hop I think is doing really well, and Rodney Jerkins is a huge reason for that right now. So
Hmm.
it's my little tangent.
Yeah, and I can shout out a
That's
couple of
awesome.
names of people he's worked with or produced for, written for. I said Michael Jackson already, but like a lot of R&B, Ariana Grande, J-Lo, Mary J. Blige, Kirk Franklin, Black Eyed Peas, Bieber, Katy Perry,
Dang.
Kanye, Whitney Houston. He's done it all. Destiny's Child.
Wow.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
It-
and it's cool
That's
too.
Rodney.
Another name I'll throw in this discussion is Bellion, and his
Yeah.
Beautiful Mind team. 10 Rock too, specifically if you know who that is.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, he's a big deal right now.
He dropped a song recently that's phenomenal. It's called God Like That. It's really short though, but he worked with Holvey on Cry. He's worked with John Keith on Grow Wings as well. And
He did
Bellion is,
HGA too.
yeah, I think he's worked with Lecrae some, but like, between Ten Rock and Bellion and Beautiful Mind, like they're helping Christian music a lot too. And like there's just good artists who are like getting the attention and production that they deserve right now. And I'm just so here for it,
And that's what we're all about. Church clothes.
You guys
In
want another piece of
mainstream.
trivia real quick before we get Luke's trivia?
Yes,
Sure.
but
You're talking
but
about
Josh, can you just send? I don't know if you're just reading these wikis. I don't know how you're finding out this stuff. This is super interesting. If you have like a good article or whatever, video, can you just send that in the chat as well? Maybe even Jacob, you post it on the description. I
Yeah, whatever
want to
you got,
look
I
into
will.
this stuff more. That would be great to hear. Jacob,
Word.
please go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because I always thought this was so cool when I found this out. But the guy Mark, who was John Bellion's, and I think I don't know if he still worked with John Bellion on Father Figure, but for the Human Condition and Glory Sound Prep, he was the guitarist and piano player for John in recording a lot of those two albums. He's actually the guy playing the piano on "Come to Life" by Kanye West on Donda, the outro. Yeah, dude, which is pretty cracked. Anyways, that is kind of unrelated, but it's like the coolest thing I know. So, anyways, all right,
Yeah.
Luke, you got a Reconstruction trivia for us, kind of picking up where we left off last time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all
And
right,
Josh,
man.
totally go back and listen to our end of the talk when you had to leave. I thought it was pretty cool when we were able to, like, Jacob, you and I collaboratively come through, and I can't agree more that Erase Me really is a pivotal moment. And it's, again, I didn't even say that. I want to give that more credit. The fact that Lecrae has probably heard that song for the album, is like, I don't want to touch it at all other than just spit a verse on it. That's so dope. And when I heard that from hers, so exciting.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take you on a little journey. Jacob, let me run this by you. I have a song. I need to play like 10 seconds of it. It's on my laptop. Should I like connect it to a speaker, or I guess I could test it?
Am I not allowed to know what the song is?
No, you could. You could.
Because I can pull it up, and so you guys
Oh,
wouldn't hear
okay,
it, but
okay.
the stream would hear it, or the
Perfect.
recording would hear it.
No, that's fine. So what I want you to do is you can just go.
And you tell me the timestamp,
and-
maybe.
Yeah, I have the timestamp pulled up. So
Okay.
you're gonna do it's the deconstruction song. Y'all maybe will know where this is going, but I want you to go ahead to timestamp 225 on this is Lecrae deconstruction official audio.
Yeah. All right. And how long am I playing
And
to?
okay, so let me tell you this. So hopefully everyone knows like the story of the song. Where it's not all about that, but like this is before we even know about the Reconstruction album, and I just want y'all to pay careful attention to I'll go ahead and say this part. He says the word Reconstruction and peace, something like that, and you hear an instrument come in. All right, that is not really anywhere else in the track, and just try to pay special attention to that. Jacob, I think the timestamp's like 1 or 2 bars right before, but go ahead and play it. And if you pick up on it, let me know.
Yeah. When should I stop? Do you know?
It's literally the end of the verse. So when he's done
All right,
rapping.
all right, all right. I'm gonna play it for the audience.
So when I re-enlisted, I learned the Eastern context, the way that Jesus meant it. My peace has been cemented, my soul has been
The end of the song.
My deconstruction ended, reconstruction
End of his verse.
is beginning. My peace has been cemented, my soul has been relifted. My deconstruction ended, reconstruction is beginning.
Yeah. So there he ends the verse with, and he does that signature Lecrae thing where he repeats the last line at the end of the verse.
Yep.
Reconstruction is beginning, and that's the last three
Yeah,
words
so
of the album Church Clothes 4. Yeah.
I want to see if you can like find it yourself without me saying it. Maybe you need to play a bar earlier just to hear the track, because there's just one instrument that has like it just comes in for that bar.
I learned the Western
All right,
world.
like as soon as he says peace and reconstruction.
I'm playing it again.
I don't. Sorry, you're playing it. Okay.
Is it when the guitar comes in my right ear?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah, it
get
comes in
this.
at the beginning of that measure. Yeah, right.
Okay,
As
you
kind
got
of the
it. You got
yeah,
it.
yeah. I'm with
So
it.
watch this. Now we go to, and we talked about this last week, how this is a connection to Gravity. But Josh, I think you like that track, the
Oh,
intro track on Gravity, the drop,
the
lots
drop.
of guitar. Now, what about the intro to Reconstruction? What is one of the main instruments?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that so cool? So
Yeah.
like 2 years ago, he's like, let me just throw in this. I'm not even telling about the album or none of this, but my main intro track for Reconstruction album is gonna include this little that when I heard that, I'm like, oh my gosh. Do you guys think that's like a valid theory?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Dude, I have no idea, but yeah, I think it's obvious that, you know,
It's a
when you hear the intro to Reconstruction, you're thinking the last intro that he had so much friggin' guitar was the drop. But yeah, no, that's interesting. Either way, whether it's intentional or not, it is plenty ironic. I mean, that is
Yeah. Like the first time he ever says Reconstruction, you hear this little guitar, and then that's exactly what opens up the whole album Reconstruction. So it's like
Right.
this motif in my mind. Anyway, there's a lot of things I could be sharing with y'all. I'm just going to try to share the most interesting things about the album. So we already talked about Reconstruction with that, and we're going to do a little count of which past work Lecrae mentions the most. So he does name drop Anomaly, and then he also says we were in the spoken word part at the end of the song. He says we rebels again. All right, so I think that's where we left the podcast off. I wasn't sure which one it was, but it's between Anomaly and Rebel. All right, so keep your tally going. Next song. I'm actually gonna keep moving. There's a lot. I wrote stuff for every song, but I just don't think it's gonna be worth it to go through all of it. So then we're at Tell No Lie, and Lecrae doesn't reference anything, but Jackie actually does. Do any of y'all know which past Lecrae work she references?
I don't know. It's
So
a
she
Lecrae
says,
album?
yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Well, you'll have to listen to the song more because again, I think she does great. On Lecrae's podcast, he says she has the better verse. Maybe he's just being a nice guy, but anyway, do you want me to say it or are you looking at it?
I'm just pulling up Genius, but you can say it. I just want to see it.
Okay, so she says Rebel. I didn't write down the bar. That would have
Oh.
been fine. If you
Oh,
have the
yeah,
bar,
no, yeah.
okay.
I'm with it.
But
I knew this.
So, and I think that's so funny with Jackie because she's definitely more of that like type of thread. There's always those people that are like, "Oh, the Rebel's the best Lecrae album, period." You know, and I feel like Jackie's somewhat cut from that thread. So I love how she's like referencing. I don't wouldn't say I'm part of that thread. Are you not shaking your head? What do you have to say to that?
Rebel's not his best album.
No, I wouldn't say it is, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it's on this. There's something to it that just really resonates with people for whatever reason. I was definitely like it was the first Lecrae album I heard, and I was there for a while. But I think as Lecrae's progressed and changed, we talked about this. Like it's been our stories as well. Like we've all had different perspectives. So anyway, she also says something about like Lecrae, My God Wanna Reach. I just love how she just shout out the record label too. Okay, so Bless You. By the way, I won't go through all of them. There's so many references of Lecrae, not like name dropping something, but where he will bring up the same idea or bring up a past like yeah, pretty much the idea or framework like theme of his album. So I'll just share an example. Like in Bless You, he talks about being in Memphis and stuff. That's like what has everything to do with his Rebel album. So it's not a direct reference, but I just love that about Lecrae, how it's like the reason that I sound the same is because the truth don't change. Like at the end of the day, like it's the same story, but he does sound different. He's finding ways to share it different. So anyway, we're gonna keep it moving. Tori said something about Price, and that reminded me of his song Price Went Up. Both their earlier collab, but that's not an official one. Let's see what's next. I think I have it on my computer. So I did just skip Brick for Brick because yeah, there was nothing really in that song. Die for the Party headphones. They were bops, but nothing like with this theme of what we're going for here. And what that brings us to There For You. And I wanted to ask y'all, maybe you haven't listened to it in a while. This song really reminded me of another song that Lecrae did. I don't know if it was off the Restoration album, but anyway, we can keep moving unless you have something.
Wait, you don't know what
this-
song it is?
It was like maybe Drown, but I don't think it is. But There For You, it just really reminded me of another Lecrae song, and I just couldn't put a pin on it. I wanted to ask if it reminded y'all of anything.
Let me look into it.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Okay, so here's where the stuff gets really fun. There's one like type of, I'll just say piece of jewelry, so that might even give it away right away. There's one piece of jewelry that Lecrae throughout this album references over and over and over again. Like it's a type. Do y'all know what it is?
Chain?
He even talks about it on his podcast. Sorry, what?
The chain?
No, not a chain. I mean, I feel like that's everyone in hip hop. So he talks about watches. All right.
Oh yeah, the Rolly.
Especially in H2O. Like
Obama.
especially. And get this. H2O. Think of another Lecrae song that has to do with water.
31.
Dirty
Water, Deep End,
And
Drown, dude. It's all over the place.
Well, yes, but Dirty Water especially. And
Yeah.
what watch does he drop? What watch does brand whatever does he drop in Dirty Water? Do y'all know? Like I'm getting into the nitty gritty of the lyrics.
Dude, yeah, I'm trying to remember. That was so long ago. Dude, you're putting me back 11
Yeah.
years.
Well, I'm listening to these albums because of our
right.
little stuff because I'm trying to figure all that out. I'm just gonna read the bars because I don't want to mess it up.
Oh.
No habla español.
Wait, why can I not find it?
I'll pull it up. Let me pull it up.
Okay, I'm gonna ask because
You
now
got
I
it.
actually can't find it. Doesn't he like say Audemars somewhere? Like in the chorus?
I don't know. Not in the chorus.
Oh no, am I tweaking? Okay.
Wait. Could be another song.
What if it was another song? That would be so embarrassing. Well, anyway, we can all sort of agree he references Audemars, and it's cool he does this in H2O as well. I thought that was dope. Okay, next one. I'm gonna keep moving through these because we'll get to wrapping this up. So Holidays, this one reminded me of Rehab because he's like talking about being sober. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of like a cool connection. What's next? Pray for Me. Nothing there.
Banger.
We're still tied between. Oh no, Rebels at 2, Anomalies at 1. All right. Too much. I just wanted to shout out Akleso for name dropping Reconstruction in it. He says reconstructing inner peace, so in his part, which I appreciated. Mad at Today, nothing there for this. And here's what's fun. Politicking. Y'all know how Keep On and the Restoration album was like bleeding from Let the Trap Say Amen because it was like Beethoven. I felt like this song was bleeding out from the Miles Minnick collab album, which was pretty cool. But still nothing. Oh, here's the one thing that's actually really, really interesting, and it might be a stretch. When Propaganda starts rapping, he says something about like a banner in all languages, like all the world's languages, and that reminded me of how this like it was like the Spanish album that Reach Records did. How it was actually like a banner saying "Seen Unashamed" or something like that, which is unashamed. So I thought that was maybe a connection, kind of cool. What else? Let's see. Better Sober. He references Anomaly again, so we're tied. And here's my hot take for Cross the Ocean. This is maybe less trivia, just all of Luke's random takes. So if you just are like, this is lame, want to cut it out, I'm not offended. Cross the Ocean. I love Lecrae singing on it, but imagine if Tori Kelly was on it. It really reminded me of I'll Find You. So that was a random thought. And then Erase Me reminded me a lot of Cry for You. So, and then, I'm going to backtrack one. Better Sober. No, I already said that. Anomaly. Where's the third one? Gosh, I apologize for the technicalities, but he does reference Anomaly a third time. The problem is I wrote half of this in my journal and half on the computer. I should have done all in one. So Anomaly does win. Anomaly seems to be Lecrae's favorite album to reference. All that to say, plus all Luke's hot or cold takes from the album. So hopefully that was somewhat enjoyable. But why don't we go ahead and transition? Maybe you guys have thoughts, maybe you don't, but we can then transition into setting up the next week's discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say one other thing. I mean, he has a whole verse on Journey about Anomaly coming out, so there's another. There's something else to put in the pile. Yeah, I got no other thoughts really, other than I'll reaffirm everything I said last time about Reconstruction. In the next episode, when we do Christian hip hop all time albums, if it weren't for recency bias, and me purposely excluding it, maybe it is top 5. We'll find out in a couple years when I'm comfortable enough to put it in that list. So,
are we all agreeing to do that, or because I honestly?
Oh no, that's just me. I know how I work.
I know you're right though. You are into something, Josh. Were you gonna? What do you think? Like Reconstruction is not up as a potential top 5.
I think it's potential. I just know that for me, I couldn't do it.
That's a potential for sure.
Just needs more time to cook.
Yeah, it needs a lot more time. Like
needs to grow on me.
I don't like. I have some recent projects on mine, but they're like at least 4 years old, 3 years old now. So
that's fair.
Time, I'd say.